Hey, what's up, guys, nerds, gals? What's up? This is Nerd Variety Podcast. I'm Josh. I'm joined by Hannah
Hello.
and Hunter.
Hey, wait, I thought I was Hannah.
It's confusing sometimes.
It
Oh
is.
God, I made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, one of those H names. I keep forgetting which.
Yeah.
How's y'all's Mondays been?
Crazy.
Mine's been
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
as well.
yeah. A little bit of a little dumpster fire mixed with a torrential downpour, a random downpour. It's been great.
No. Mine hasn't been nearly that bad. My family was in town from Chicago, and my little sister left this morning, but she had never seen the show The Dragon Prince on Netflix. And I was like,
I don't know.
it's really good. And so I was like, we have to watch it. And so we stayed up till like 4 or 5 a.m. to watch it before she left. And then I had to get up again at 9 to say goodbye. And then I ended up sleeping till 2 after that. So I've had like 2 3-hour naps.
So you've had 6-hour naps.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like a weird start to the day.
What a great way to bond. That show is wow.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
good.
seen it. I have no idea what it is.
Really should. It's by the same people, or at least a lot of the same people who made Avatar. And you can tell because it's that same sort of like they did their research. They have one character who is actually
Is this our
deaf.
topic for today?
No, it's not. But there's one character who's
We
deaf.
have to do an episode on good Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Shows for all
We
ages.
should, actually.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Click.
Yeah,
Anyway, today though we are talking about video game consoles. Not necessarily talking about PC, which
What?
that seems like Hunter. That
Master Race.
think about it. That will take a whole episode in itself. You know this.
Yeah, I'm also a PC person.
Yes. I've tried PC and I do dabble a little bit, but I think today talking about video game consoles will help us out. And we'll talk about handheld and actual like plug into your TV consoles. So I
Handheld consoles.
yes. I want to see what's your video game history, Hannah.
Mine. Okay. When did the Wii come out?
2007.
Was it
I was going to
2007?
say 2006, but
Yeah.
I know it was when I was in high school.
really?
So
'Cause I was
yeah.
going to say I'm
Or
pretty
middle
sure it was
school.
when I was in middle school.
Had it been
Okay, all right.
You could.
Let me put it this way. I'm in the house that my family's lived in since 2001, but for 4 years when I was in high school, we lived in a different house, and then we came back. And it was during those 4 years, which are my high school years, that we got a Wii. So I know the Wii came out before that. So it maybe was 2009 when we got it, because I think I started college in 2013, 2012.
2013.
Whatever. Yeah. So that was like our first family console. Up until then, we've never had one because we were actually really big PC gamers. Because my dad, not to brag about my dad, but my dad has a PhD in computer science. So even though computers were still pretty new when we were young, we had like some of the newer technology because he needed it for his work.
And yes, it was 2006. It was November 2006.
Yes,
Yeah,
because it
so
was the time of the console, the new console generation coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was probably the following Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget because that was the Christmas that I had the flu leading up to Christmas. And then on Christmas we got the Wii, and I'm like, well, that would have been nice when I was sitting in a chair in the living room for a week straight.
Where you couldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't do anything, just was completely like
time.
dizzy and sick. Then we get the video game console. It's great.
Of course.
But I did grow up with a lot of, mostly the Super Nintendo, a lot of the Mario Brothers All-Stars, which had like Mario 1, 2, and 3. I love Super Mario RPG. It's one of my favorite games. The Legend of the Seven Stars.
Sounds familiar. The only one that I can think of for like RPG Super Mario is like Paper Mario.
No, this was significantly before that. Yeah, I feel like it's not a very well-known game, but it was a ton of fun. And
I think
would
I do know it.
I would
Like,
play
think I've
every
heard
year.
it.
How
going
did
to
you
my
have? How
grandma's.
did you get a
But
hold of it, Hannah?
me?
How did you get a hold of it?
My grandparents.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so my grandparents live in Wisconsin, and we go up every year. And my grandfather actually plays, I think still plays their original Nintendo and plays like the classic Zelda games. There's like one that he plays. So we had that, and we played Donkey Kong and stuff like that. And that was pretty much like the gaming system that I grew up on, other than computers.
Classic Zelda games are wonderful. All of the Zelda games are wonderful, I have to say. I haven't played all of them, but
And it's actually funny because we nowadays there's this whole gaming thing, right, on YouTube and Twitch and all this stuff. But we were doing that before it was cool. Literally, my siblings and I could never beat the games, the classic Mario games. So we got our uncle to play them for us and record him playing them. This is when we were like 6 and 7. So it's just interesting.
You guys really were doing it before it was cool.
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
I think
it
they
was
were
definitely not cool at that time.
No, I think they were recorded on DVDs. Yeah. So
10 points for creativity.
yeah.
Minus 10 points.
And even back then, we got to see aspects of his personality in his gameplay, and that was one of our favorite parts. Even though we didn't have a webcam or audio or anything, he would always like spastically hit pause before falling into a hole or dying, and we'd be like, "Classic Uncle Danny." So it's just
classic.
That's kind of the same thing people do now.
Yeah.
Except it's not weird.
Oh, it's still weird.
I guess it's better than rage quitting.
Yeah. Although some rage quitters are really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I prefer not to do it because I don't think it's funny when I do it. I think it's just annoying. But I think that about most things that I do.
I just don't really have any rage.
Well, I heard it wasn't a very good game. Or the second one. No? Okay.
I tried to do the drum beat for you.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right.
What others is that all you had, Hannah? You said the Wii games, played, you said the Super Nintendo at your grandparents'. What else? Until
so mostly just Nintendo consoles?
Yeah, I think we had Sega something for a little while there, because I distinctly remember playing some Sonic games. Probably.
Either Genesis or the Dreamcast. I don't know what else.
I don't think it was a Dreamcast.
Those were both Sega, though, right?
Yeah.
I never owned a Sega
Yes.
Yeah. One of my favorite pictures of me and my brother is me with both Nintendo controllers in my lap and him sitting next to me. Because that's the kind of relationship we have. So, yeah.
And then after that?
I got an Xbox 360 in my marriage. So, and then I play that now, but still mostly PC. And that's pretty much it.
So after the Xbox One had already been out, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How's your Xbox 360 been treating you?
Well, we got Skyrim on PC because the loading screens on the Xbox were taking forever.
Yeah, they do.
And what was interesting is we had a really hard time finding multiplayer games for the Xbox that weren't like, I don't know, all the same games over and over again.
Actually, you know what? I was about to say that makes sense, but for the Xbox 360, that feels less true.
Well, this was before we discovered Borderlands. That was why we discovered Borderlands, is because we were looking for a multiplayer game that we could play together. Because we have every Halo game, but it's still just 6 Halo games. So if you don't want to play Halo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still, the 360 had a lot more. That was an era of consoles where there were a lot more multiplayer games, like couch co-op games and stuff, than the Xbox One, where that kind of pissed me off when I first got the Xbox One, because I kept wanting to play games with other people, like in person, but no, you have to have like
to
you have to connect to the internet basically and just play with somebody else.
Yeah.
It feels like there are so few games these days on current consoles that you can actually play with somebody next to you.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking through just did a quick Google search of Xbox 360 multiplayer games, and they're pretty much Call of Duty, Halo, Borderlands, and then like things that we would play on our computers. So Left 4 Dead, Minecraft.
Minecraft is multiplayer? Oh, I guess it is. I don't know. I've never really played Minecraft.
Portal 2, played that on the computer. So if you're not looking for like a war game of some kind, yeah, which Borderlands still is, but
I
feel like it's pretty significantly different.
Yeah. It's a looter shooter.
Yeah. Well, Hunter, tell us about your video game history.
No, I don't share that until the third date.
Gotcha.
How many dates have we done?
I don't know. Okay, anyways. That was a terrible joke. I just attempt things until somebody laughs.
I actually phrased that in hoping someone would make that reference, but that's fine.
Okay. So well, I have to say probably my favorite of all time, just purely for the nostalgia. Favorite console was the Nintendo 64.
So that was that your first, or like which one? How was the rank? What's the timeline look like?
Honestly, I don't really remember entirely. It was probably my first one. My next door neighbor, actually, they had kids of all different ages, so they definitely had some older ones. They had some that were my age, one that was my age, and then anyways, some of the older ones, they had like an NES and then an SNES, and I remember really wanting to play those games so bad, but as we all know, or as I think we should all know, older siblings of friends in the 90s are just monsters, and they're terrible people.
You could look at any TV show and real life, and that's true.
Yeah, like I wanted to play a lot of the games so much, but I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure they never let me play anything. And if they did, it was barely. And then they'd be like, hey, you suck at this. It's my turn. That's like, but
I was homeschooled. I didn't have that problem.
But I barely got to play it. So why would I be good?
Were they afraid that you'd break it?
I don't know. Probably. I don't remember.
I feel that fear now when I have younger relatives and they want to play on the Xbox, and it's like, no, we'll just watch some TV or something. It's not working right now.
Yeah. But I kind of appreciated those games, specifically like the Super Mario games. I was never any good at them. They felt difficult for me. I don't know.
They still are difficult.
Yeah. But of course, the Nintendo 64 I loved. There were a lot of games in that were fantastic. I remember, I think it was Diddy Kong Racing was one of the racing games that I grew up with. Of course, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and then Majora's Mask. Fantastic games. I don't have a Nintendo system anymore, so I can't play any Zelda games, which bugs me.
Yeah, that actually reminds me. I neglected a couple because I have an uncle who's like near my age, and we lived together for a while.
Hannah, it's my turn.
No, shush.
But it's
but he had a Game Boy and like a PSP. So like the only Zelda game I've actually ever played was Link to the Past.
So you had some handheld access.
Yeah. Those two, and they weren't mine.
Link to the Past is a fantastic game, and I'm so disappointed with myself that I've not been able to beat it yet. Because the only time I was able to play it was when I had a Wii for a while, and you were able to like go into the store and get a lot of like older games that were on different consoles. So they were like, I don't think for sure they had all of the Zelda games available, but they had a lot of them. So I was able to play. That was the last time I was able to play Majora's Mask, Link, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, and I didn't really finish many of those. I got to the point where I was able to beat Ocarina of Time really quickly, pretty much. Like, the water temple was no problem for me. So now I'm at the point where when people are complaining about the water temple, I'm just like, easy.
See, my tangent was relevant.
Yeah. What?
What?
Continue. I wasn't listening to you. Okay. Anyways, but no, after that, I did really enjoy the GameCube. Actually, there were a lot of good games on GameCube. Even though this was one of my biggest regrets was I rented. What was the one? Wind Waker. I rented Wind Waker for that. This was when Blockbuster was a thing. And it was, I don't know why, but I got to a point where maybe someone else was trying to convince me at the time that it wasn't very good. And it just, so that kind of made me not want to play it, or made me think that it was a bad game. So I didn't get very far at all. And then, looking back at it later, I'm like, I really wish I had played Wind Waker, because it looks like such a great game, and I've heard so much great stuff about it since then, and I'm just so disappointed. But I loved like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and Super Smash Brothers Melee. I remember from that. Fantastic. I never really got into the handhelds all that much, I don't think. I think it was really complicated for me to get a hang of it all, because obviously it was a much smaller screen, trying to figure out some of the little controls there.
A lot of bending your neck and
that was the other thing. Probably it hurt me physically so much to try to do that.
You gotta want it, kid.
Yeah. And I remember of all the oh my god, Game Boy games.
Yes.
All the Game Boy games. That the only ones I really remember playing were some of the Pokemon ones, like some of the early Pokemon ones. And honestly, I don't remember much about them.
But they took up a lot of your time, and they were invested when you started playing them. But way back when in the yesteryears. Yeah.
But then, we got Xbox, the original Xbox coming around, which was great. We actually had this thing for a while where me and my brother would get video game consoles whenever a new one would come out. We'd kind of each get one, and we kind of took ownership of those. So like my brothers had been like the Xbox for like the Xbox, and then the Xbox 360, I believe, and then I got, well, maybe not for the 360. Honestly, I kind of can't remember for sure around that time, because he got the Xbox, and I remember I got a PlayStation 2, and I loved the PlayStation 2. There were so many fantastic games on that.
How would you not love the PS2?
Exactly. And, actually, thinking of that makes me think of another game that I loved from the N64 that I ended up getting on PlayStation 2 eventually was Rayman 2, I think it was, which I loved that game. It was so freaky and weird, and there was a lot of stuff to it, and it was just so enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
Have you ever played it?
Which one did I? I think a little bit of Rayman. Actually, something I missed out on, but got a chance to play with a friend, actually at the apartment. Taylor was playing it on the GameCube. I don't think you remember that. He was playing that. And I played for a little bit. It was weird, as you said.
Yeah, it is weird. And but there was like this whole section that I very distinctly remember that was like one of my favorite things in so many games. I feel like this is kind of gone away a lot. Maybe I just haven't been playing games with it, but I always really tend to enjoy dream sequences, really weird dream sequences in games. So like there was the Max Payne level the dream sequence in that first Max Payne game. And then there was a weird, freaky, like, drug trip dream sequence in Rayman 2 that I just thought was wonderful. So weird.
E for everyone?
It was, actually. Max Payne was not. Is not.
Oh, no.
But, and then eventually my brother actually got the PlayStation 3 when that came out. So that was honestly a console I never had. That's like one of the only PlayStations I've never actually owned or really played on. But I do have a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One now. Never got around to the Wii U or the Nintendo Switch. I kind of dropped off from Nintendo, but I would love to get a Switch just because there are so many cool games on it. Like Breath of the Wild.
I want a Switch. I want one so badly.
I think it's on our list to get a Switch just to have on the side.
Yeah. But also, just growing up, I know we said, well, okay, you said, I didn't agree with it, but you said that we weren't going to include, like, PCs in this. Oh, damn it. It's because I mentioned it. Sorry. That was the punishment. At least it happened on your end, not mine.
I warned
you. So, no, it was what I grew up with mostly was PC gaming. So I did that a lot, like with my dad and my brother. That's what I really remember. So we did like StarCraft a lot. I don't actually remember playing StarCraft myself because I was terrible at it. And then there was, but I do remember Diablo and Diablo 2, both those first two, and those were wonderful, and I just loved them. And also some first-person shooters like Unreal Tournament. There was a whole list of stuff. PC games.
So are you counting your PC as a console?
Yes, always. Master Race.
Then I have so much more to say.
I do want to. I think we should go into consoles versus PCs one day.
It's PC.
And we'll start back at the beginning and go all the way through, but another time though. Cool. And what do you have now? Just the one and the PS4?
Yeah, and my PC, which I do all my streaming from.
Oh, you stream?
Yes. Have I not mentioned?
I mean, if I were to want to watch you stream, where would I go?
You could go to twitch.tv/Zab_gaming. ZAB_gaming. GAMING.
Cool. Interesting. Well, I will reveal my console history to you all. I trust you.
I'm so excited.
It's a chill. It's a fun history I've had.
I should start. Oh crap! Yeah, sorry. No, I was too on the edge of my seat. I fell off.
No, it's okay. My first one was the first one that I owned actually was the PS1. I got it for Christmas one year. I vaguely remember it, but I remember, oh my god, I have a console. This is awesome. And hearing the sound of the PS1 as it starts up was just like, oh my god, what dimension have I entered? This is amazing. But I didn't have any games for a hot minute. And then I finally got Crash Bandicoot, and then I got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which, as a 90s kid, those were pretty staple games to play.
I agree.
Yeah, but there was another problem that took me also a long time to get a memory card. So there were a few nights where I had to keep the TV and VCR on with the PlayStation so I wouldn't lose my progress because I was so close to that last.
I think we've all had those experiences. At least we should have.
You should have. Yeah.
Young for that, I don't know.
Can't imagine you didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
I never remember how old you are, so I don't know.
This
You're
year?
like 21 or something.
I'm not 21. That is false.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure I had to do something similar. But I'm trying to like rack my brain and think about when and where.
See, and I remember doing that, and I remember it scaring the crap out of me because it's like, I know I need to do this so I don't lose progress, but
Yeah.
oh my God, I hope it's okay in the morning.
I hope hope it doesn't like explode or the house doesn't, the lights don't go out in the house.
Yeah, just like praying to God that the power doesn't just flicker on and off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, oh my God.
Or after all that hard work, it goes off anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, those were fun.
The time before autosave.
Yeah. Good times, though. Good times.
Oh, horrible.
And then I think at this time I was begging my parents for a Game Boy Color so I could play Pokemon. And I remember getting that for Christmas, no, birthday, my birthday. Yes, I got that. And I played crap ton out of that because we were always kind of on the move, going to, church things, going out of town to see family. And, sometimes I couldn't use TV, my family was using it. So I would just get my Game Boy and put on some Pokemon Red or some at Looney Tunes, another Tony Hawk game. I was in a weird skater, kind of phase.
Those were fantastic.
Yeah, it was the 90s, but it didn't work out too well after I had I tried to copy a move that Tony Hawk did, but it didn't work out at all. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the only games I actually played in the 90s had to have been PC games, like thinking back. Because I was born in 95, so I was only in the 90s for 5 years.
Yeah.
Child.
And I guess maybe I played some Super Nintendo before that, but I don't actually remember.
Yeah. I was, I think, and I want to try to go back to before I actually got a PS1 when I was a wee lad. My brother, before he went off to the military, he was playing a Sonic game.
Those existed.
Yes, and I'm trying to remember what year. If you guys could give me I'm trying to remember what year it was. I had to have been, I want to say 4. 90s. No, I was younger than that. I think I was 3. I was young, and he was playing. I think he was playing on the Genesis or Dreamcast. I'm not trying to remember. I can't remember the exact, timeline of those. Probably Genesis. Yeah, but that was cool. I think I wanted to play, but he shooed me away. As I do now to my younger relatives. But I stuck with handhelds for a while. I think didn't have didn't have the capital to really get another console, but I had a really good friend from church, and we hung out all the time and played PS2 games, Jack and Dexter, Sly. We played Kingdom Hearts.
No, you just played Sky. You just looked at the sky.
That's what I played as a kid.
Did as a kid.
Yeah.
I tried to look at the sky, but there was a ceiling in the way most of the time.
Yeah, there's also this bright thing I can't have this went away and I'll lose my save.
I don't know. That was back in the day when parents were allowed to let kids outside, so I spent a lot of time outside.
My dad actually forced us outside one day, and me trying to figure out something to do as a little kid, I decided to take a big stick around that I found, and I started randomly whacking this bush, and it turns out there were bees' nests and hornets' nests in there, and they did not like that, so they pretty much covered the whole front yard, and they came right for me.
And Hunter never went outside again.
That's basically what it is.
Finn.
Yep. Hence why we all play video games so much.
Yes, that's why I went outside again. Stuck with handhelds, and then went to and he also had a GameCube, and he also had the Xbox, which is where I got my first taste of Halo. which was cool, but I didn't really appreciate it until much later. And yeah, then just I got a PSP once I was kind of a little tired of playing the Game Boy Color, and then finally got an Xbox 360, and I played a lot of shooter action games, but I had problems with it overheating and all that, and I had to send it back like 3 times. But I still loved the Xbox 360 is probably my favorites because all the games that you can play and just I'll lose yourself in it for a while. And then as of last year I got the Xbox One, and I've been enjoying that in my spare time.
Yeah, looking at the date that the Xbox 360 was released, I was definitely a little bit behind on that trend, considering if I just acquired one when I got married, that would have been 11 years after it came out. Yeah, so not a lot of experience with like the Xboxes and the PlayStations. I think my uncle had a PlayStation, but pretty much strictly Nintendo PC people over here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So can we after saying that, can we all kind of agree, narrow down the best consoles, I think, of all time?
Me and Hannah already know.
Around 5.
Same way, like right now. So not including a PC.
Not including PC Master Race.
Come on.
Okay. I don't know if I would say this was the best system, but I do have a special place in my heart for the Wii. Just because it was my first system, and it was kind of like, I mean, Nintendo's always been pretty revolutionary when it comes to gaming, but like that was kind of the first, or at least the first very successful integration of motion controls. So I feel like that started a whole new era of gaming, which is really cool,
right,
and at the very least noteworthy.
Yeah. They tried to copy it, but the Kinect and the joysticks that the PS3 had didn't really match up. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess the Wii's a tough one for me to want to put in the top 5. Maybe I'd have to think about my other 4. I would if we were saying, it depends, if we were narrowing down like Nintendo consoles, I would definitely put the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Probably at number 1.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was the first console with 3D graphics. I don't know that because I never played really any of the Sega stuff, so I don't really know.
So in order to help this conversation along a little bit, I looked up the best-selling video game consoles.
Okay.
And the top 5 in order are PlayStation 2, PlayStation, Wii, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 3.
That's not too much.
I feel like I want to put, if I could, I'd put the Switch up there instead of the Wii. Replace the Wii with the Switch.
Also,
I really want to switch.
They're not including handheld game consoles in that.
Right, that's fine.
Well, the Switch it's kind of handheld. It's half handheld.
They have it in their handheld category.
That's an interesting debate there. Is it a handheld?
It's
both.
Yes. It's a hybrid.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So, okay. Are we just doing top 5?
If you have your top 500, yeah, sure, go for it.
Top 5 off the top of my head.
Top of your head.
Top 5. That's, yeah, okay. I would say N64, and in no particular order for right now, but N64, Xbox 360, PS4. I know. Did I say PS2? I didn't.
No.
PS2. And I already forgot some of the ones that I said. Okay, how about GameCube?
Yeah, there you go.
That's fair.
That's good. I was really close to putting the original Xbox on there, but I don't know.
Yeah. as much as I respect the original, I don't have too many memories with it. I would say Xbox 360, PS 1, 64, PS2.
It's that last one that's tough, isn't it?
Yes, that last one is very tough. I'll say Xbox One.
I might
it's been good for me so far.
I might only be able to come up with a top 3 because I just don't have a lot of experiences with the PlayStations.
Sure.
I want to play them more, and they have some really cool games on them, but I'm just not super familiar. So out of the 3 that I grew up with and I use regularly, the Super Nintendo is just top of the line for me. It's fun, it's classic, and then I'd probably say the Wii and the Xbox 360.
Cool. See, for me,
because those are the only ones I'm really familiar with.
See, for me, a lot of times I have the hardest time when I'm at least just thinking about it, really making a big distinction between the Nintendo and then the Super Nintendo. It never felt like a huge difference to me, like a huge step.
It might have been a marketing thing, and when they were trying to outsell competitors, because there were a lot more, consoles out back then too. So are we looking for what new consoles are we looking forward to seeing? Or what in a new console would you like to see?
Well, I'm personally really excited for the Scarlet. That's if you don't know, that's the new Xbox that's announced. They kind of sold me on it so far at their announcement at E3 this year. Especially talking about taking away some of the features, like they're talking about trying to be less rounded with like making it the go-to system for a lot of stuff. And it sounds like they're focusing more on the games and the gaming experience instead of trying to integrate Netflix and streaming and all the app stuff, which I'm like, you know what? I really like that. I don't need another place to go to watch Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah.
I have like 5 different places I can already go for that.
You already have your phone, your another computer to do that on. So
another wonderful thing about computers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
you can do so much.
But the thing about the computers is you still have limited space. I feel like just everything takes up a lot more space on computers.
Yeah, but that's what hard drives are for.
Yeah.
Thank God for hard drives.
Yeah.
I just got a 2 terabyte one, so I can finally have a huge game library like
I think mine is a 2 terabyte on my. I think on my PC I have a 2 terabyte hard drive, but I also have a 2 terabyte hard drive for my Xbox One. And one reason I would kind of say not the PS4 as good, or from my experience, I don't like it quite as much because I don't have as much space.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll fix that too.
Yeah.
But that wraps up our time. Next topic is...
Wait, what are you looking forward to?
Wait, what's happening?
Me. I'm looking for more space, more, I guess, able to let you be able to play with friends without having to, get on the internet all the time. Maybe some more VR stuff. I like to see where that goes.
I just want to be able to afford VR.
Me too. I was just
gonna. It's really the thing.
As soon as I can afford VR, I'm getting it, and I'm getting Rick and Morty VR.
Oh gosh.
Well, that wraps us up for today. Guys, I hope you guys have a great week, and take a look at the moon up in the sky. Be careful because it might be a space station. Have a good day.
All right. See ya.